The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside off of the back straightaway. 26 at Hallmark trying to go 3 wide. No one's with him.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's going to dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it? Walker Thomas.
Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
I remember a couple years into my tenure at Hendrick Motorsports, I was asked to go fill in at a road course test at Road Atlanta for Jimmy Johnson. He had tested the first day and couldn't test the second day. And I was nervous. I'm testing for Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion. Man, I better be ready. You know, Chad Knaus and all those guys, they expect perfection. So I spent hours racing on iRacing at Road Atlanta. And when I showed up, I was right on top of Jimmy's times from the day before, and they didn't know how. They couldn't believe, like, you've been here before? And I was like, never seen it. But I went online and raced online on iRacing, and it literally was like deja vu when I got out on the actual track and tested.
Did you know that, I was going to jump in real quick, the simulator, did you know, like, when you got out there, hey, it's going to be this, or as you're driving, you're like, wow, this really is the same?
It's so similar. It's visually so similar. And the other thing, too, that helps is all the, you can basically, the iRacing software and some of the simulators for the manufacturers are so technical and realistic that they can create the perfect shift point. So I'll shift into, the same gears at the same spot on the racetrack, and I'll need to be in the same gear in every corner as I would from the simulator to the real world experience. And so those are things that you don't have to learn when you show up. I don't have to spend the first half of the day learning the track, learning where the shift points are, learning what gear to be in, learning how hard I can brake into the corner. I already know it. And literally it transfers over into real life so much easier these days with how realistic these simulations are.
Wow. 2 things come. Road Atlanta is a tough road course.
Welcome, race fans, back to PTRTV on LSRTV. Tonight's coverage is back on the asphalt. We're at the Tricky Triangle in Pocono, Pennsylvania for the STH Graphics 100 for the ASRS Sam Maxwell Customs ASRS Truck Series. I think I said that properly, but we are bringing you 40 laps, 100 miles of racing action here tonight, again from the Pocono Raceway. Calling the shots is myself, Corey Silva. I'm behind the cameras, but I also have Evan Black in the booth with me, and we got Joe Chris helping us out behind the scenes. Evan, well, you were in Eldora last week, so you weren't around for the Dirt Derby that we got to cover, but you saw some dirt racing yourself, and, well, that's all over with now. We're back to usual. We're back onto the asphalt. We're at the new version of Pocono, so what do we expect to see here tonight?
Yeah, last week Eldora, this week Pocono. These tracks are so different from each other, and this race, it should be interesting. We could see some slide jobs still. I don't know if we might see some through the tunnel. That's usually a pretty decent spot for them. You can kind of drive it in deep and slide up in front of them. It's kind of a one-lane area through there, but it should be a fun race here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty short race just due to the nature of the fact that it's only 40 laps. I mean, think of it in the sense that it's 53 seconds a lap, so give or take, it only been about 40 minutes of racing action, but if we do have cautions, I mean, we do know how long those cautions are. But we did have a major shakeup in the points, not major, but we did have a shakeup in the point standings, Evan. Obviously, with the dirt throwing some guys off out of their elements, it did shake up the standings a little bit.
Yeah, Mogard went to the top after his victory last week at Eldora over Brian Yazik, but they are still very close, only 4 points separating them, and then a bit of a further gap, about 60 points off the lead is Nick Curling, then Mitchell Brown in 4th, and Jordan Ashland in 5th.
Yeah, so that will definitely be a little bit of work for Brian Yazik to do. Qualifying is over with. They are just finalizing the order, who made the race, who did not make the race, and we'll pull up the ticker here for you. You can see Jordan Ashland, very quick driver in the league, up by over a 10th over Mark Emerson. Ronnie Osmer up there with a good lap, Brandon Stokes, and then Brian Yazik, who he's going to have to make something happen, but if I'm checking this correctly, Evan, I'm pretty sure Jarrett Mogard had to take a provisional and was not able to start tonight's race. So,
yeah, I did not see that he is in this session. So that's really going to help Yazik out. He should be back in points lead after this race.
Yeah, I think he gets a drop week if I'm correct in interpreting the rules. So
he gets a provisional, so it still counts as a start, but he had scored with last place points. That's pretty much 1 point.
Well, there is the definitive interpretation of the rule. So without any kind of serious events, Brian Yazik will be the points leader. He has the 56 points over Nick Curling, so that is not even physically possible to overcome here in one night. So again, we'll see what happens here as session is soon changing over, just a few more seconds. So again, thanking everyone for spending a Tuesday night here on LSRTV for the PTRTV coverage here at Pocono. Be a full field of trucks, 100 miles, 40 laps of action. And I expect them to really be fanning out, Evan, on these long straightaways, especially in the opening stages of the race.
Yeah, in the initial start, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, but that is your that is your qualifying session complete. So now we get to give you the PTRTV on LSRTV starting lineup here from the Pocono Raceway. On the pole tonight with a lap time of 54.469 seconds is Jordan Ashland, so congratulations to him on that lap. Mark Emerson on the outside of the front row. In 3rd spot, we have Ronnie Osmer, then Brandon Stokes in 4th, Brian Yazik in 5th, who is 2nd in points, and Clarence Bonner in 6th, Devin Serra and Nick Cohen 7th and 8th.
And rolling off in 9th, we have Tommy Cannon and Tyler Seville in 10th, Troy Haight in 11th, Drew Carroll in 12th, Tim Naughton 13th, Sam Maxwell in 14th, Pete Baskins in 15th, and Scott Smith in 16th.
In 17th is Andy Veltman, Dylan Hickey in the 18th spot. 19th is Jay Graves Jr., Zach Calloway in P20, John Kennedy in 21st, Jason Stewart 22nd, Jared Haggerty, and Nick Curley in row 12.
And Justin Rector rolling off in 25th, Brandon Kreutz to his outside, Robert Hill Jr. in 27th, Cody McCorkle in 28th, Kenny Baker in 29th, Caleb Finn 30th, Jeff Gross 31st, and Kevin Dominguez in 32nd.
All right, and then rounding out the field will be Scott Holler, Steve Buhala, Jim Foose, Mitch Brown. And again, just got to get clarification on this. We'll show you what the grid is, but some of these drivers, 3 of them did not make the grid, so you can see those names flash by on the bottom of the screen. So again, we are getting ready for 40 laps of racing here at Pocono. The weather conditions tonight, excuse me, still getting over a little bit of a cold, so voice is struggling a little bit. 73 degrees in the air, 82 on the track. You don't see this very often. Almost no humidity and almost a, well, that wind is going all over the place there. About a 2-mile-an-hour wind, so weather should...
No humidity? This does not sound like a summer race.
No. I don't even think that it's physically possible, but no, you know what? That's why it's a simulator. We don't have to use the laws of physics, apparently. But regardless, here we are onto the racetrack at Pocono, getting ready for about a 2-minute pace lap. So that's why we hope this race goes clean and green, Evan. We know how painfully long these pace laps are at Pocono.
Yeah, they can take so long just riding around. Thankfully, they have to speed up to about 75 miles an hour, so it does go by quicker, but still, it's going to take generally about 3 or 4 laps to get back under the green, and pace laps are about 2.5 minutes or so. So Around 10-minute cautions usually.
Yeah, I think that is about the case. So hopefully that pace car does not need to have too much going on tonight. Hopefully it stays in the pits and these guys can settle it on the racetrack. It looks like Cold-Blooded Racing, I do believe it is on the front row. Ashland and Emerson, remember they've had some battles up front in races past, and well, they're set up for another one tonight. So coming through the tunnel turn, which is turn 2, or if you're Evan Black, this is turn number 3 and 4 here at Pocono. Coming on to the chute, which is the shortest of the straightaways, which leads into turn 3, or if you're Evan Black, turns 5 and 6.
According to NASCAR logic, this is a 6-turn racetrack.
Yep, and maybe if we have time, we'll get into why we do believe that in a later moment in the race, but we have a start to take over right now. Pace car is coming through, well, whatever turn you want to call it, onto the extremely long front straightaway here. We're going to get a night of racing underway. Pace car is in, and on the loud pedal is the 27 of Jordan Ashland. We're racing at the Tricky Triangle.
A very even starts by the front row there. Those guys are teammates, are probably coordinating that. And it looks like Mark Emerson is actually going to have the edge going down into turn 1. We'll see if Ashland gives it to him going down into the corner. We'll see here. And no, Ashland's going to fight back down on the inside and try and get the lead back. You kind of want to be down on the bottom here, especially on those fresh tires. We'll see. Bet that 22 is going to get the run down the long pond.
Yes, he will. We'll see here what happens heading into the tunnel. The 27 is trying to get a look to the inside, but I think he's going to fall back in line. Not a turn that you want to really race side by side through too often. Looks like the top 5 will get into single file formation and will come through the chute into corner number 3. The 13 Clarence Bonner and the 57 of Cohan. They're side by side for 6th and 7th at the moment. You can see Bonner really high. That should give the 57 the spot, but he's holding some momentum up there.
Yeah, you can get a pretty good run up there, but it's still not the preferred lane. But you can see here, he should have it at the stripe, but that 57 is going to be trying to fight back as they get down into turn number 1. We'll see here if he can do that using that bottom lane, which is where you do want to run pretty much all the way around this racetrack. We'll see here if he can use that to his advantage. Once again, the 13 is way up the hill, but Cohen is not quite going to be able to clear. The 13 is just staying right on his right rear quarter panel.
Yes, he is. This is going to bring a lot more drivers into the mix right now. That's Tommy Cannon in the 114 just behind this. He is trying to figure out what to do, but Tyler Seville is behind him. That's bringing a gaggle of trucks into the mix. But up front, Evan, excuse me, we still have those teammates door to door, bumper to bumper here. And then they got to watch out because Brandon Stokes is getting racy.
Emerson, he's really taking a really wide arc into turn number 3, and that's not really going to work out for him. The 27 got a pretty good run through there, but not quite to be able to get to his quarter panel on the front stretch. We'll see if he goes for a dive or just stays in the line. I think he's going to stay in line since that is his teammate here down into turn 1. And staying in line and taking a little bit more of an arc than that 22.
Yeah, you can see he got a really good run through the center of the corner. Will he have that to his advantage on corner exit and pull out down the long pond straightaway? Answer to that question is no for the time being, but again, you got to watch out for Brandon Stokes. You got to watch out for Ronnie Osborne, and of course, Brian Yazdick lurking right behind.
Yeah, if Emerson just gets loses just a little bit of momentum, he's going to have everyone all over him. And Ashland just about got the wall there, but managed to keep off of it. We'll see here through turn 3 if that 22 can continue to pull away. Once again, Emerson, he really likes that wide arc into 3, but it's not working for him as Ashland's getting underneath. That's really close contact, but they both save it.
Yeah, they're teammates, but they're not racing like it there. They're going for these positions, going for the lead very aggressively. Watch out for Brandon Stokes to the inside of the 27 of Ashland here. That's going to be a stack up for second. Watch that 0-1 dive it off into corner number 1. Osborne going in to try to complete the pass as well. He'll pull door to door, but has to back off to avoid contact.
Yeah, you saw Ashland just lose a little bit of momentum there out of turn 3, but he lost that spot to the 0-1, but he's trying to get it back. And here through the tunnel, turn 2, as the caution comes out now.
All right, and we will try to see. Oh. And to quote the line that I said earlier today, problems around goes the 93. Brandon Kreutz
he didn't hit anything, though.
He just got loose off corner number 1, and just, I mean, that's as incident-free of a spin as I think he could possibly have. So he'll put 4.
He got his lefts down. They're kind of on the apron. That's really what freed him up. I know that does get you very loose getting down there.
Yep, so he will put 4 fresh tires on that truck, presumably, and again, the long and painful caution laps here at Pocono will begin themselves as pace car is exiting, well, quarter number 1/number 2, and we will formulate onto the back straightaway.
Kurtz, he went around, but he only lost about 7 spots there, so.
And, I mean, we talked to him, obviously, before the race. He didn't have much confidence coming into this race. And
he didn't even think he was going to make the show.
Yeah, so really, I mean, learning experience, everyone has their fortes and things that they're good at, things that they're not. And, well, I don't think we need to say much more about that. But, well, Evan, it's been 5 laps, been 4 laps of green flag racing.
The answer is yes, Corey. They're going to come down pit road.
But I'm going to throw in an asterisk here because I know from experience last night I did win my C fixed race here, and it was a similar situation. I took 2 tires, and, well, I actually pulled away from the guys on 4, so I think that's going to be a viable option.
You just wanted to get it out there that you did win a race, Corey, didn't you?
Hey, I'm not that bad. But I'm saying it is a strategy, and, well, it is kind of nice having success. So, but we'll see if anybody is on my side and goes for those 2 tires. I'm pretty inclined to say that they will, but let's find out.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, let's find out together here. They come down pit road.
I think this track is a track that you, especially if you're very far back in the pack, and I see one guy staying out. Who is that? Is this
Andy Veltman. Well, he's known for that, Evan. We always know Andy Veltman goes for those bonus points, so.
And really, he was in 17th. I don't think this is too bad of a strategy because it's pretty hard to pass out here, so if you can just get up there and to the lead, you'll probably stay in the top 10 at least.
And one thing we also didn't allude to is we didn't allude to what the fuel strategy is here. We do know it's a full fuel cell, 40 laps. I want to say that we're going to be okay. If
with this caution, everyone be able to make it.
Yeah, that's what
now everyone can make it except for Veltman. It might be a little bit close.
What is it, about 35 laps maximum, you'd say, approximately?
You could probably go about 38, I'd say. So with this caution, he might be able to go the whole distance.
Well, we'll have to find that out together. But we are behind the pace car again. Well, not again. Well, actually, I guess we could say again because it is the second time tonight counting the initial start of the race. And, well, here we go. Gotta love these pace laps here. So we're going to step away for a little bit, and we'll be back with you for the restart. So stay with us.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
When I was 16 years old, I was working in a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with him one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big fight afterwards. I was like, this is it. This is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went.
And we're back here on PTRTV on LSRTV for the STH Graphics 100. We just had our first caution of the race, and it is just about to complete itself. Andy Veltman did come to pit road. Remember, he stayed out with the leader, well, with everybody else came to pit road, get to that bonus point, but he did come and complete service. So we're back to the two teammates on the front row, Evan. It'll be Ashland as the leader and the control truck to the inside, and well, rather Emerson to the inside, Ashland to the outside, and then row two, we have Stokes and Cohan.
But Corey, top three are on two tires. So we'd never talked about.
Strategy.
So pace car going to be pulling down into pit road. And there it goes, and there's Emerson already on the throttle. Once again, very good start by the front row. Those teammates out there working together, but this time the control truck is going to keep the lead, it looks like, as he clears Ashland already, going to slide up in front of him.
Yes, into turn number one, those teammates do get themselves coordinated and get themselves doing the best they can do. You can see here later in the pack, everybody is going 2-3 wide, trying to get sifted out for these positions all throughout the field. You can see some 3 wide off corner number 2. Look at them down the long pond straightaway, still pace lap formation from about 10th on back.
2 and 3 wide all the way throughout this 36 truck field, but I'm going to be interested to see how this 0-1 of Brandon Stokes can do getting around that top 3 if he can do it. He's on those 4 fresh tires compared to their 2, but at least for the moment they're pulling away from him.
Yeah, as I said, Evan, it doesn't, 5 laps at Pocono, it's not that much. Oh, into the
Stokes
wall.
just got the wall, so that's not going to help him.
No, this is one of the worst tracks to have aero damage. This is the longest straightaway on the NASCAR calendar. I'm not sure, I think it's over 3,800 feet. So you cannot sacrifice any speed, so he'll have that to deal with.
But just behind him, we have Yazik and Osmer side by side for 5th. Out of turn number 1, Osmer got the run from the top, 55 Yazik all the way down the track. But it looks like Osmer is going to clear him for the moment. We'll see if Yazik can fight back down into the tunnel. It does not look like he's going to be able to.
No, he will not. He'll fall back in line. Lost a good amount of time on Osmer there, so he will have to regroup himself and make another effort. You can see Sam Maxwell at the 98. He's taking a look underneath the 85 of Drew Carroll in the final turn. Really tight quarters racing, not giving any space, but I'm going to go back to the front. We have a battle for the lead.
Ashland pulling underneath Emerson down the front straightaway. He's just barely at his quarter panel. Now at his door. We'll see if he can make anything happen down in turns number 1. We'll see if he can get down there. He's going to drive it in deep, and is he going to try a slide job? No, he's not. He's not even going to slide in front of him. Now he's a little bit, but I think Emerson just let him go there.
Yeah, but he's going to have a run off that corner and down the long pond straightaway. Is he going to give him a bump draft? Answer to that question is yes, so he will not try to do a crossover and send it off into the tunnel. You can see Ashland really driving in deep there, gaps him by about 2 truck lengths. Does that last through corner exit? It does, actually. But watch out, Nick Cohan in the 57, who won this race last year. He is in 3rd, and he is starting to close in on these guys.
Cohan also on those 2 tires, so I think at least if you have 5 laps on your tires, you can definitely do 2 tires for what we've seen so far.
Yeah, there's a point where you have to take 4, but I'd say anything within 10 laps, I'm going to say take those 2 tires. And there's not that many opportunities in this race to pit with as short as it is, so you really have to maximize that stop because it could be your only one.
Yeah, because everyone should be able to make it to the end on fuel from now. Or from when they pitted last, they should be able to make it to the end on fuel, so.
Yep, that is probably the case. So I think everyone can go full bore. As let's see right now, Clarence Bonner is in the clutches right now of the 85 Drew Carroll. That is for the 8th position. But just ahead of that, they are on each other's tail from 2nd to 6th right now. Ronnie Osmer, he is all over the back of Brandon Stokes in that 0-1, trying to see if he can get that 4th position. Here he comes.
And there goes Stokes underneath the 57 to Cohan through turn 1. And 57 is not going to give a whole lot of room. Going to try and pinch him down, and that's going to work for him. It's going to clear out of 1. As now Drew Carroll is side by side with Clarence Bonner, but down the long con, it looks like Bonner may be able to clear here.
Yeah, Bonner is definitely clear. Oh, no, he's not. Now he is. Had to really sail it off in there into 2. Well, we'll get into that later. Into the tunnel turn. And that is a very risky move. I mean, you know that turn, well, that tunnel turn exit, it really can sneak up on you.
Yeah, the exit of that corner gets really, really tight because the safer barrier starts to kind of stick out there, and it's a very, very tough corner, and it's very line sensitive. You really need to be right on that yellow line.
If not below it, as I experienced yesterday. But see, Ronnie Osborne has some damage to the front of that 53, not hurting him at the moment. You can see him running a little bit lower through turn number 1/2, but does not get the exit and loses a couple truck lengths.
Yeah, but in front of them, we have Nick Cohan trying to get around Emerson. 2 tires on both of those trucks. But Cohan has the inside line for the tunnel, which is where you need to be. You can see how much slower that top side is for Emerson, but he actually got a pretty good run out of that corner. And now they have Stokes just behind them, trying to get to the right rear quarter panel of Cohan. Not able to get there quite yet. And now Stokes trying to get underneath Emerson. He's sliding up the track. Caution out.
Let's see. Mitch Brown off of the tunnel on the chute is around. Try to see what happened to Mitch. See, he is running in the 2 of Zach Calloway behind him. It looks like 2 guys had the same plan of where to go, and they both made that move at the same time, and did not work out for Mitch Brown.
So now what does everyone do?
Well,
I think you got to pit. It's been about 9 laps, probably about 6 or 7 green flag. So I think you should pit.
Yep, and if you took 2 last time, are you kind of stuck taking 4 and maybe the other way around for those who took 4 the first time by? Or do you think it's just 4 across the board?
We'll see. I think those guys that took 4 last time, they may decide based on what happened to these top 3 that they might just decide to come down for 2.
Because this is already 25 laps to go at this point in the race. Again, this is under green flag, only going to be about 20 minutes more of racing. I mean, obviously under cautions that time will be rather inflated. So this is going to be the time to get these positions on pit road and on the initial on the restart, because you know, and once they get spread out, once you get a second or 2 in between these trucks, these positions are a lot harder to come by.
But everyone coming down pit road now, or at least it looks like everyone is. The question's going to be 2 or 4 tires.
We will find that out. Remember, Ashland in the 27 took 2 on the first time by, so can he afford to take 2 again? Well, we're going to have to find out. Let's see, as they're in the box, we'll bring up the timer, and that'll help us show at least what some of these guys are doing.
Looks like the guys that took 2 last time are taking 4.
All right, so 2 tire stops. So see, Devin Serra took 2. Who gets out on pit road first? That's Nick Cohan.
So it was Cohan, yeah.
He took 4 tires.
So Sarah and Hill both took 2, but they were so far back they only came out 7th and 8th.
Yeah, Devin Serra, as an example, he was running around probably the teens, so he didn't gain that much time from that move, but, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what he's able to do. Will he be able to maintain that spot? Will he fall back? So, we'll find out together, but now that everyone is presumably where they will be running for this restart, we can give you nearly a mid-race rundown at the moment. So Nick Cohan, top of the leaderboard right now in that number 57. We have Jordan Ashland in second. We have Mark Emerson in third. Ronnie Osborne running in fourth. Brian Yazik running in fifth. Brandon Stokes in sixth. Robert Hild in seventh. Devin Serra in eighth. Drew Carroll in ninth. And then Troy Haight in the 10th spot.
Then Sam Maxwell is currently running in 11th. Clarence Bonner in 12th. Taylor Seville in 13th. Dylan Hickey in 14th. Tim Knott in 15th. Justin Rector in 16th. Andy Velton in 17th. Jared Haggerty in 18th. Tommy Cannon in 19th. And Nick Curling in 20th.
Cody McCorkle in 21st, Caleb Finn in 22nd, Jay Graves Jr. in 23rd, Pete Baskins in 24th, Scott Smith in 25th, then we have Jason Stewart 26th, Kenny Baker in 27th, Jeff Gross in 28th, Brandon Kreutz in 29th, and then Jim Foose in 30th. Rounding out your field is Scott Holler, Kevin Mingus, Steve Buhala, Mitch Brown, Zach Calloway, and John Kennedy, all trucks still on the lead lap. Lights still on the pace car at the moment, so we still have a good time to pace. So again, sorry for the cautions, sorry for the commercials, folks, but these are long pace laps, so we'll be with you in just a moment. Stay with us.
You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt car, you can't overdrive them. Well, that was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know. I always wanted a semi. I always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn in.
And welcome back to PTRTV on LSRTV here for the Sam Maxwell Truck Series STH Graphics 100 at the Pocono Raceway. Getting ready to come back to the green here, coming through turn 3 now with Nicholas Cohan and Jordan Ashland on the front row.
Yes, they are. After the second caution of the race, everyone on 4 tires in the top 5 at the moment, so we'll see how this progresses here as we approach the halfway point in the race. Pace car takes the hard left turn and waiting for Cohan to get on the loud pedal. There he goes. We are back racing, and look at the jump he gets by about 2 truck lengths.
Yeah, Cohan, he got a huge jump there over the outside lane. He's going to take that 22 of Emerson with him. He's going to slide it into the 2nd position. But there's a gaggle from 3rd on back.
Look at them just funneling into the corner here side by side for these positions, trying to figure out what they're going to be and where they can get these spots. And oh, look at the Clarence Bonner all the way to the inside there, I do believe that was. They're 3 by 3 from about 8th through 13th right now. Crazy race. They're going to funnel into the tunnel. This is not going to work.
Contact there, but everyone's going to keep it straight somehow. That was close.
It's not over. Maxwell is pushing Bonner literally as they're still 3 wide entering corner number 3. You can see the 11 does choose to back out. That's Tyler Seville. But he's going to take
not backing out now.
He's going to take it 3 wide. And is that Jared Haggerty? He's going to try to go 4 wide. It won't actually be that. He'll pull door to door with the 11 as Maxwell still side by side. And, well then. Looks like John Kennedy, Steve Buhala on the front straightaway. So let's see what happened again for the 3rd time tonight. We wrecked on the straightaway.
I don't know what happened there.
The 43 just kept turning left off of the exit of the corner, and well, John Kennedy was there. And they didn't move off each other. They kept going.
So Corey, I think I know what happened.
Do tell.
If you go a little bit further back in that replay, there was another wreck that involved them. And I think the caution was already out, so his spotter was not on, and he did not know he was there.
Well then.
Because the 2 of Callaway went around after contact with the 43, that brought the caution out. And then when the caution's out, the spotters don't spot, so I don't think he knew he was down there.
Alright, well, let's see if we can, I think we had to dig back a little bit further in the replay, so forgive us. We'll kind of watch this while we don't have too much to talk about live right now. Let's see, we're in the tunnel turn right now, and Zach Callaway is under Buhala. But who was the caution started with, Evan?
The 43 and the 2.
Alright, so let's start. Oh, you can see here there's Mitch Brown to the inside. They're getting 3 wide entering the turn. Oh, that's what it was. The 3 wide got him checked up. The 2 is around Zach Callaway, but that wasn't that was the caution. You can see them just dooring each other off of the corner. So, whatever the reasoning is, we are under caution again. I think it's the 4th time tonight. And I wouldn't expect pit stops because, well, they just came to pit road, so.
Yeah, only had about 1 or 2 laps on their tires, so I doubt many people will come down pit road. We'll see here as pits should be open as they're coming out of 3 now. They're thinking about it.
Yeah, just playing the fake out game, no intention, no actual moves made. And again, unless you have damage to repair, not much of a reason to come down pit road at this point in the race. So
Tyler Seville is the first one to come down pit road. He was in 14th.
So we are again under the 4th caution of the race. Did you kind of expect this, Evan, or were you kind of thinking that this would, in all honesty, have been over with by now?
Well, at this track, if it doesn't get spread out in 2 laps, it's probably going to have quite a few cautions, because especially on these restarts, there's people going for every single position out there, and there's a lot of room. But when you get to the corner, there is no longer a lot of room, so this track usually does have quite a few cautions, unless they can run about 5-10 laps, and once everything gets spread out, it usually runs green for a while.
And where we will be having these restarts at a point in the race where Well, the aggression level is going to pick up automatically just due to the fact that, well, we're running out of laps. So hopefully we can get a run in and see who is made of what. We know that 22 and the 27 are pretty equal. We know Cohan is pretty quick. Ronnie Osmer is quick as well. And, well, Brian Yazik in 5th. We know he's not usually a short-run driver. He may be one that can shows his speed off maybe within 6-7 laps when the tires start to wear, but I don't think we've had that long of a run, so still a lot of things that we have questions on, and well, we haven't had the opportunity to get them answered yet.
Yeah, and, you know, we're already past halfway, so that alone is going to crank up the intensity a little bit. So about 17 or so laps to go, 18 laps to go.
Yeah, 18 at the stripe. We'll see what the pace car decides to do, and it does not give us the 1 to go, so another fabulous lap of pacing here at Pocono on top, but will be 2 to go. So, well, we got some people watching. If there's anything that you have questions on, you want us to go over, let us know. These are, we'll try to keep this one on air for this caution so we don't have to go to constant commercials. ASRS, you can check the league out at AmericanSimRacing.com. There are currently 3 divisions. There are, well, the Tuesday night flip-flops between this series, the Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series, and alternatively we have the Twitchy Race Reports Premier Cup Series, which I think should be kicking off, I want to say next week again. They've been on quite the hiatus. But then on Wednesdays, they call it the Home Track Series, which is a combo of dirt and some asphalt short track cars to get your feet wet in the league. So if you're looking to get into these races, you'll have to tread yourself through the Wednesday series. And if you're interested, again, AmericanSimRacing.com. I think the link is in the description in the video. And well, that's a little bit of a summary of this league.
Yeah, Corey, next week we are back in the Cup cars, and we're also back at Pocono.
Well, hot dog. Wait a second. Our Pennsylvania action will continue.
70 laps at the Pocono Raceway. So a little bit longer race, but still it should be fairly short.
Yeah, these truck races are at a maximum of 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's actually, I hate this final camera, folks. I apologize for that. Yeah, it is 100 and no, what was it? I just say 80 minutes. 1 hour and 20 minute is the cap. So, and Evan, I'm actually no, we have 15 minutes of approx.
We have plenty of time.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong graphic right there. These races cannot go more than 80 minutes, so we will not come anywhere close to that. We almost did at Gateway. We came within about a minute of the timer at Gateway. But the Cup races have a little more time built into them. They're usually designed to go, I think, about 1 hour and a half, 2 hours or so. It's a little bit of extra length, but that's to be expected because, well, truck races are always shorter than Cup races. That's just how racing works. But we do have lights out on the pace car, so let's try that one again, and hopefully we have better luck this time.
Yeah, I think if we can just get 5-6 laps under our belt here on this run, we might be able to go caution free to the end, honestly. If we can just get those first 5 laps in. Yeah,
everyone is bunched up going 2-3 wide, making these power moves, but once those tires wear just a little bit and the drivers are in a little bit more command and have to wheel them things, we'll get a couple truck lengths in between these drivers and we'll get strung out and we'll get to see who is what, who is made of, who has the speed when they're not in a huge pack. So that's what we'll find out. It'll be 16 laps to go here as we are going down the chute here at Pocono into the final turn, which is the flattest on the raceway, only 6 degrees of banking, and arguably the most important turn on the track because it leads you onto, as I said, that longest straightaway in NASCAR, and if you don't have a good run off that turn, you're gonna know it when your competition blows by you. So Evan, take it away, get us back racing.
Coming out of turn number 3 now, waiting for the pace car to drop down onto the Pocono pit lane. There it goes, now waiting on Cohan, and there he goes, and better start by that second place this time, but 27 National is still going to try and come with that 57 and try and get through to second. We'll see if he can go down into turn 1.
Osmer was giving the 22 of Emerson a push on the top groove because Emerson did not get going. So he did get going decently once that 53 gave him the push. The 0-1 and the 53 still side by side, but Cohan, top 4 really, have single filed up top 5 now. They will go side by side later in the top 10, but here comes Ronnie Osmer with a look to the inside. He'll have to pull back in line with that.
Yeah, this is not a corner that you really want to go too wide through, but the 22 missed the bottom. That's going to allow Osmer to get underneath him on the exit of the tunnel. So we'll see here through turn 3 if that 53 machine can do anything down the bottom. This is kind of where you want to be, and he's going to clear him already. And who is that trying to get underneath Emerson? Brandon Stokes trying to get under there, but that 22 is going for a crossover on that 53 of Osmer.
And now Stokes is trying to decide where to go. Which line do I go with? Do I want to go to the inside, maybe get bogged down there? Or do I go to the outside, keep my momentum wound up? That's his question, and, well, what's his answer going to be? Top of the racetrack, he's going to follow Ronnie Osmer down there and watch Brian Yazik digging on the bottom, trying to close in on these guys.
Osmer got a little bit tight out of 1. That's going to help the 22 of Emerson to get a run down the long pond straightaway. Not going to be able to clear him, but we'll see if that 0-1 gives him a push. That might help him out a little bit here. That's the bump draft there, but going down into the tunnel, the 22 has the preferred lane, and he's going to clear him.
And they're still door to door through the corner. The 22 is clear, but the 53, he is clear as well. Yazik and the 0-1 of Stokes will go door to door for the 5th position. Look at Devin Serra all the way in that 3rd groove. There's no grip strip here, Devin. You don't want to be that high. He'll lose some time, fall back in line in the 8th spot.
Ashland has closed in on Cohan here. It's down to under a 10th and a half. Going down into turn 1.
Yes, it is. You can see him really hard on the entry to the turn. Doesn't quite get down to the yellow line. That'll cost him a little bit of time down the long pond straightaway. We'll see if he's able to use the draft and stay up with Cohan. Cohan trying to break the draft a little bit, it appears, down the straightaway. And look at the 27 diving off into the tunnel. Can he hold the exit?
He got a pretty good exit there as Cohen almost got the wall out of the tunnel. That was really close there for that 57 machine. We'll see here through turn number 3 if that 27 can do anything. He's going to need to get the draft here down the long front straightaway here. He's going to try to stay in line with him for now, but that 57 is really trying to break that draft.
Yes, he is all the way down to the apron.
Caution
there,
out on
and
the front
we
stretch.
are under caution. Is that Nick Curling? And no, we're not done wrecking yet. That's Kevin Mingus spinning wildly on the front straightaway there after a little bit after the cause. So let's see what happened.
45 and 98 had some contact there.
Yeah, off of the exit of the corner. I think Maxwell was going for a side draft and got him in the left rear and turned him.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, Maxwell, he obviously was not pinched for space, but just trying to pull him back in the draft and set him up for a move into 1, but just got into him there, and well, here we go again.
I think he got a pit here.
That'll put us under 8 now. This will put us probably to about a 7 to 8 lap stint to the finish. And remember, the iRacing cutoff lap tends to be about 5 laps. So if we have a caution within
2 tires,
3 laps of the restart, we'll be ending under the pace car. But
2 tires.
2 tires.
That's gonna win the race.
Yeah, because I mean, in all honesty, I don't think you're gonna believe it either, Evan. I don't think we're gonna end this 7 laps green. We haven't done it yet, and I don't see it really happening now. But I would love to be wrong, because it looks like we really would have a phenomenal run to the checkers. Especially
another but here, Corey. There's a few people that pitted under the last caution. Could they stay out? We have Justin Rector, Tyler Seville, Jim Foose, Scott Haller, John Kennedy, as well as Kevin Mingus.
Now I'm going to go back.
Actually, Mingus is smoking a little bit, so I doubt he'll stay out.
I'm going to go back to my race yesterday that I won again. And well, I absolutely botched my pit stop. I went down to 10th position, and I was much faster than anyone else from 4th on back. And you know what happens? It's Pocono, it's wide, and those guys who, if they are in the back, they're going to go for it, and they're going to go 4, 5 wide to try to get those spots back. And that's going to cause some more carnage as well. So
Mixed bag up front. It's pretty even.
I'm sorry, I was on replay there, not even paying attention, but Ronnie Osmer on the speedway, Brandon Stokes on the speedway. Devin,
I think pitting's a bad call.
Yeah, Ashlyn, it looks like, is going to be in the 16th position. Well, 17th position. That's if he gets off pit road first. Cohan takes those 4 tires, gets out of pit road first, so Nick Cohan will have to go 16 positions up in most likely 9 laps. I am going to call Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And
this is going to be very hard for the guys that pitted.
And based on what we've seen so far, Evan, I mean, well, I'll say it now. Do we want to take our picks, or do we want to wait for presumably the next yellow?
Let's go take our picks, because, you know, it could go green. So let's take our picks.
All right, I'm going to go with Stokes.
You know, I'm going to go with Osborne. I'm going to go with Osborne.
I was going to say, and not to degrade anybody else, but of the guys who are currently up here, we haven't seen the speed. I mean, mind you, they've been in traffic, so we don't know what they can do now they're going to have less to deal with. But we haven't seen the speed from anybody else up there, so if they can get off to a clean start, I mean, it seems to be the 53 of the 0-1, but you never know. I mean, not too...
Sarah up there in 3rd now. He could have something to say about this.
I mean, we know what Sarah has done in the past. I don't think he'll do it again, but we know how he has gone for wins before. I don't think he'll be able to do that anymore, per some league changes, but remember, we've seen that happen in the past, and all it takes is the 53 and the 0-1 going sideways. That'll slow them down, and that'll give someone a wide open door for a 3-wide pass.
This is going to be exciting.
It will, and I pray to God we can finish this one out, because I really want to see Ashlyn and company have to dig through this field.
They're going to be able to get a top 10 out of this, I think. But I really don't think they're going to be able to win. Unless there's a really big wreck that takes out about 10 cars in front of them, and we get back to going green. I think they could have a chance then, but it's just going to be way too hard for them to get up through 16 cars in just 10 laps.
So I'm presuming we're going to get the 1 to go this time that'll be 9 to go. We're going to go racing with 8 to go, so we have realistically 3 laps after the restart to wreck and to be able to get... Actually, no. Remember, ASRS does
It'd be 2 laps then.
Yeah, because we don't have 1-lap shootouts. So we have to have a caution. We have to have a caution at 6 to go. Because with ASRS, there are no 1-lap shootouts. The race would have to get restarted with 2 to go for a proper green-white checker. If it ends up on the iRacing side being a 1-lap shootout, the race will be waived and they will pace that additional lap. That is per their specific league rule book. So we have 2 laps from the restart to, well, wreck, if we're going to get stacked back up. But again...
So let's hope they stay green for the whole way.
Or let's just hope they wreck right off the bat. And I mean...
if they're going to wreck, do it within the first lap or 2. But preferably, don't do it at all.
Yeah, because I mean, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Is a 17 truck wreck in turn 1?
It's a possibility.
It is.
Pocono generally has some pretty big wrecks, especially on restarts.
Yep, so again, if you're just rejoining us, had our, I want to say, 5th caution of the race We had about a 6 or 7 lap run that we were on, and we had the top 16 drivers stay on the track. Arguably the fastest 2 tonight, the 27 and the 22, Ashland and Emerson respectively. They are back in the 17th and 18th positions. They are mired back there, but they're on fresher tires. How much green flag racing will we have? Will we get to finish to the end? How far will they get up front? Who's going to take the checkered flag? These are all questions that we will answer, and we are eager to answer. And here we come with still quite a bit of lap here. I probably should have said that about a minute later, but we're coming through the tunnel.
Yeah, we're going through the tunnel.
Yeah, normally I'd say that in 3 and 4, and that would lead into me saying restart, but Poconos, though, these laps are
I guess
longer.
if you believe, that could be 3 and 4, if you believe.
Oh, here we go. The campaign starts here. Just for that
Getting
comment,
ready to go down into turn 3.
say, Evan, just for that comment, you can get them underway.
Well, coming through turn 3 now.
Or 5.
Yeah, it depends on how you want to say it. Ronnie Osmer and the 01 of Brand Stokes on the front row. 20 of Devin Serra, as well as the 195 of Robert Hill rolling off in that second row as the pace car pulls down into pit road, waiting for Osmer, and there he goes, and he's going to get a really good jump over that 01. He's going to try and bring Serra with him.
Yeah, Serra is in that second position on the inside row right now. You can see Osmer all the way down there trying to break the draft. I don't think that's going to work to his advantage, though. He may cost himself some speed in the process. Serra may have a look in one. He will not, but Osmer is out to a little bit of a gap, and here comes
we got
Stokes.
a car running 1. Caution out.
Oh, and that's the big one. There's Yazik upside down. There's the 22. He was in it. Seville. That was the big one we talked about. Cohan in it. Mitch Brown. So 2 of the drivers who were in the position trying to get back to the front were involved in that melee.
And yeah, looks like that wreck started with Jim Foose and Brandon Kreutz.
42, yep, into the left rear. We'll go on board here if I can find it. Yeah, Foose just drove into the left rear. And you can see everything else that came about from that. Brian Yazik took a huge lick there. Probably about 8 trucks all in all, I'd say. But this is at a point where we're going to be able to get this.
We can do it again.
Yeah. Remember, no 1-to-goes are allowed for a 1-lap shootout, but we should have enough time to get this with 2 to go. And remember, we have to complete the first lap. If we can get to the white flag, cautions are turned off, and we'll have a battle of sorts to the checkers. So who got through that? Who was back there? Jordan Ashland in 13th. I don't see any damage to that truck, so he got through okay.
But now we're going to have Devin Serra restarting up there in second. So I wonder if he will be able to do anything with Osmer. He's going to need to really time that restart well.
Yeah, he was pretty good following Osmer there from his other position on the inside of row number 2. Osmer was really defensive there all over the track trying to break the draft, and I mean, I almost think that was going to hurt him there, scrubbing off that speed, really making those erratic moves.
It did look like he lost some momentum there, especially turning back up the track.
Yeah, trying to break the draft is a tactic that, it's not a bad tactic, it just, you have to be very subtle with how you use it, because you'll be breaking the draft, making it difficult for those drivers to get that slipstream on you. But if you're turning the wheel too much, then you're just burning off speed, and you're scrubbing off speed, and ultimately you're kind of defeating your own purpose right there.
What Osmer needs to do here is he needs to do not what he did last time. He needs to restart at a different point so that Serra cannot time it. Because if he goes at the same time, then Serra might be able to anticipate it and stay on his quarter panel.
Yep, and then obviously a guy who's in a good position right now as well as Brandon Stokes. It's very good being behind the leader because you can see it happen immediately. Usually you do get a better jump than the guy on the outside, so he may be able to clear the 20 in 1, and that would give him a lap and 3/4 to take a stab at Osmer. Not sure if he has the truck to get by, but I mean, he'll at least have the opportunity if he can approach this the proper way. See, drivers having good runs tonight. Robert Hill Jr. in the 195. He is in 5th. Andy Veltman, he's in 7th now. Pete Baskins, Tim Knott, Jason Stewart, guys in the top 10 tonight who are having good runs after a little bit of attrition after that wreck.
Still got about 27 trucks on the lead lap there. It should be 26. Actually 24 now. Trucks on the lead lap. It's still a pretty good amount.
So, was anybody a lap? Oh, yes, we do have lap down trucks. Because if there are no lap down trucks, sometimes we get to omit a lap of caution. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So
Let's see, are we going to get the 1 to green here?
I don't expect it, but I wouldn't complain.
And no. 2 to green. So that's going to be what, a 3-lap shootout then?
Should be the case. So again, help us out, folks. If there's anything you guys want to know or have us talk about, let us know. We got about 4 more minutes of pacing to cover, and well, I've kind of run through my sheet here. So again,
you have a sheet?
Mentally.
Well.
Yeah, I don't prepare that well.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
Well, I do have a sheet. It's just I don't really need it because I usually know most of it off the top of my head. So, but again, STH Graphics 100 here tonight. PTRTV on LSRTV. I didn't really brand the ticker appropriately, so it just says PTRTV. But obviously, our merged channels, and this is now going to be aired as it has been for about the past 2 months on this channel for the remainder of its season. The Sam Maxwell Customs Truck Series will head to the November time frame, I think, and they'll end up at Homestead for a championship battle. Same thing with the Cup Series. I think that ends a little bit earlier in the season, so if you do like this series and you want to stay tuned, you'll have Tuesday nights full of racing for at least the next 4 months. They already have their 2019 campaign scheduled for the Truck Series, so if you're looking to join the league, as we mentioned earlier, you have your opportunity to do so. And then from the PTRTV side of things, we still have our Hardline Racing League, which we air on Fridays on our channel. You can check that out. That season still has some time to go. And then we have the Integrity Racing League here on Mondays here at PTRTV on LSRTV. That is our kind of the Cup Series half distance, kind of like an NIS style race. A lot of big names in there. Always puts on a great show. We'll be bringing you coverage of that in a couple weeks as they're on a little bit of a broadcast hiatus anyways. So, but that is one to go, and it's going to be a 3-lap shootout to the end, and we'll see what is going to happen here. Can Osmer get out to a good jump? Can Sarah stay with him? And what can Stokes and Haggerty do 3rd and 4th?
This is going to be a fun restart to watch. Probably not to drive, but it's going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, these guys are going to be 2, 3, probably 4 wide, and we'll see. Can we make it around? It'll be 7.5 miles. Can these guys get it around and complete this race under green? I don't think so, but I would like to think that it's a possibility because I really want to see a good old-fashioned fight for the win. I think that could be the case. I think that 20 is aggressive enough on these runs to be able to make something happen. I think that 0-1 is fast enough on pure speed to give Osmer a shot, and if anything else goes wrong, you got Haggerty, Robert Hill, you have Clarence Bonner, Andy Veltman up there. All these guys can maybe steal something if, well, it does end in a interesting fashion. So get ready. It's It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a shootout in the tricky triangle here coming through the final corner here at Pocono. Ronnie Osmer going for his first win of the season, but it's not going to go without a significant fight. The iRacing pace car comes out of the final turn here at Pocono, and it's going to make that hard left turn for the final time tonight. They're waiting, and there we are. We're back racing. Green flag. Sarah got the start he needed.
Yeah, but Osmer, he's still going to clear him, so that's not going to allow Sarah to stay on his quarter panel, and that's really going to help out Osmer, but Sarah has a run. Now he's going to try and get to his quarter panel, not going to be able to. Now going to the inside quarter panel, not able to get there, but and they're wrecking behind him, and the caution is out. That's the race.
Who got it? Who got it?
I believe it was Osmer.
Yes,
it was.
It was. Well, Evan, tell me something positive to say because I'm running out of it.
That was the last restart. That is going to be the last caution.
Now I'm trying to. Are there any caution lights here? Why do these tracks never have caution lights when I need them to? I was trying to see if I could time code it, but of course, Pocono, you need caution lights in 1 and 2. But that,
oh no, you're saying it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, you've ruined me. Let's try to find out what the wreck was. I don't know if Evan, if you have any leads for me, because I was trying to. Oh, there it is. We have the 09 Scott Smith. So, oh, that was the 09 into the 7, and about 7 trucks calamity ridden through that corner, and well, Evan, I don't like to do this. I mean, it's been a long time since I've had to be this way, but we like giving fair assessments in the booth and really giving our honest opinion, because that's what we're told to do, and we call the races as we see it. And I'm gonna say it, I'm really disappointed in these guys tonight.
Yeah, I kind of expected a cleaner race coming into this, but
I mean, and we'll talk to the admin later. I'm not roasting anybody. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just calling it surface level. We really didn't get to watch any racing tonight, and I'm a little disappointed in that. But it is good for Ronnie Osmer, because he will just have to run one more lap, and he will get his first win of the season. So that'll be good for him and his championship and playoff contention. He is down 26th in points right now, so actually I'm not totally positive on his eligibility, but regardless of that, he will have he'll take out that goose egg in the win column. A little bit of a confidence boost for him. It'll be a really disappointing run for Jordan Ashland, for Mark Emerson, for Nick Cohan, who had the fastest trucks tonight. And just due to that strategy call and the fact that we didn't get racing those last 10 laps, they got in that wreck, and the best finisher of that would be Ashland. As you said, Evan, he did get a top 10, but not what he deserved.
yeah, that's just where if you pit, everyone's going to stay out. If you stay out, everyone's going to pit. It's just nothing you can do right.
Yeah, and he didn't get the opportunity under green to fight for those spots back on those fresher tires on maybe that faster truck overall. But that's how racing is. You make the right strategy call when you didn't deserve the higher finish, and sometimes you deserve a better finish, and the calls don't go in your favor. And sometimes when you're Ronnie Osmer, you're up front all night and you catch those breaks. And that's exactly what happened for that 53. So Ronnie Osmer will come through the chute here at Pocono, exiting the tunnel turn, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. Whatever turn you want to call it, he just exited it. And he'll come through the chute, and he'll enter turn 3, turn 5, turn 6. Again,
He'll enter a turn.
He'll enter this turn on the Pocono Raceway, and well, it's the most important turn because it's the final turn. He will exit it at a whopping 74 miles an hour, and he will head down the straightaway here at Pocono, and under kind of mediocre and a little bit slow pace, Ronnie Osber will take home the checkered flag here tonight at the STH Graphics 100. Devin Sarah with a second, and Brandon Stokes will take the third tonight. So that is the top three, and before we step away for the post-race show, as we have to wait for these guys to get into the booth with us, we will give you the final rundown of the results here tonight. Again, as we just saw, with the victory tonight was Ronnie Osber leading 12 laps, Devin Sarah in second, Brandon Stokes in third, Jared Haggerty in fourth, Clarence Bonner in fifth, Robert Hill in sixth, Pete Baskins in seventh. Then we have Andy Veltman, Tim Knott, and Jordan Ashland in the top 10.
And Jay Graves Jr. coming home in 11th, Drew Carroll in 12th, Cody McCorkle in 13th, Scott Holler in 14th, Jeff Gross in 15th, Jim Foose in 16th, Jason Stewart in 17th, Justin Rector in 18th, Tyler Seville in 19th, and Caleb Finn in 20th.
21st through 30th is Tommy Cannon, Scott Smith, Kenny Baker, Sam Maxwell, Dylan Hickey, Brian Yazik with one of those wrecks all the way back in 26th, Nick Curling in 27th, Nick Cohen in 28th, Brandon Kreutz and John Kennedy round out the top 30.
The rest of the field, we have Mark Emerson coming home 31st, Troy Haight 32nd, Mitch Brown 33rd, Kevin Mingus 34th, Zach Calloway 35th, and Steve Buhala in 36th.
Yep, so that is the field tonight, and Ronnie Osber doing his donuts. We'll take a brief commercial break, and hopefully these guys will be in the booth, and we'll have some post-race interviews, so stay with us.
I remember a couple years into my tenure at Hendrick Motorsports, I was asked to go fill in at a road course test at Road Atlanta for Jimmy Johnson. He had tested the first day and couldn't test the second day. And I was nervous. I'm testing for Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion. Man, I better be ready. You know, Chad Knaus and all those guys, they expect perfection. So I spent hours racing on iRacing at Road Atlanta. And when I showed up, I was right on top of Jimmy's times from the day before, and they didn't know how. They couldn't believe, like, you've been here before? And I was like, never seen it. But I went online and raced online on iRacing, and it literally was like deja vu when I got out on the actual track and tested.
Did you know that, I was going to jump in real quick, the simulator, did you know, like, when you got out there, hey, it's going to be this, or as you're driving, you're like, wow, this really is the same?
It's so similar. It's visually so similar. And the other thing, too, that helps is all the, you can basically, the iRacing software and some of the simulators for the manufacturers are so technical and realistic that they can create the perfect shift point. So I'll shift into, the same gears at the same spot on the racetrack, and I'll need to be in the same gear in every corner as I would from the simulator to the real world experience. And so those are things that you don't have to learn. When you show up, I don't have to spend.
And we're back here on PTRTV on LSRTV. We just finished 100 miles here at Pocono in the Sam Maxwell Customs ASRS Truck Series, and well, in the caution-ridden fest it was, Ronnie Osber was able to sneak out the victory, and Evan Black has caught up with him in victory circle.
So Ronnie, you come up with your first win of the season here at Pocono in a little bit of a caution-filled race. What are your thoughts after this race?
It was sad that there was a lot of cautions, not that much racing, but it was, so with all the cautions, you had to play the strategy right, and at the end, I got the other 3 leaders off guard, got the fake pit and got up front, and strategy played my way.
Did you think when you set out, did you think that was going to work, or were you worried that Ashman and then we were going to catch up to you?
With I think it was like 10 laps left, I doubt they had the chance to catch up because it's so hard to pass on this track, and especially with how tight the setup was, so it was hard to make a second lane work. So I felt confident to stay up front, and I was at least going to stay in the top 5.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys out there trying to kind of break the draft. Did you feel like there was much of a draft out there, or what do you think of it?
You could feel a draft sometime in the race. So there was times when we were the front 5 of us trucks were pulling away from the pack, and I think it was mainly because we were straight line all the way around the track, and everybody was in the back of the pack was all spread out. So I think that helped us out a lot.
All right. Well, is there anyone you would like to thank or shout out to you after your win?
Give thanks to Charity I Support, Ride to Give, and PH Aware, and Jim for running this league, and thank you guys for broadcasting.
All right, thanks for that. Thanks for talking with us, and once again, congrats on your victory here at Pocono.
Thank you.
And now Corey has caught up with second place finisher Devin Sarah.
All right, Devin, you take home a second here tonight. You didn't really run up there, but given how all the cautions played out and all the attrition, you had yourself a chance there at the end. Did you think you had anything for him, or was it just kind of set up to finish second for you?
Well, we actually did have the speed here. In practice sessions with my teammates, we were running the fastest times that these fast guys were running in this race. And I knew coming in that if we had cautions or even just a mild green flag run and then a caution, we would need to take 2 tires and get up front. We ran inside the top 10 and we were fast. I was really, really fast. Just track position is so important here. And then when the leaders pit, we just were able to get up to 30th or lap 30, and I was just able to stay out with Ronnie Osmer and Brandon Stokes, and we were able to battle it out up front. And I believe, you know, we had that race won. If a few more seconds, that caution wouldn't have come out. And so it's just a little bit disappointing, but I'm still proud of the effort, all the work we put in this week with me and my teammates, Pete Baskins. We worked really hard, and I'm glad it paid off here for us.
Yeah, so what was the mindset in the truck with all the cautions and trying to figure out what to do? Was there any kind of confusion, or did you kind of feel confident about your decisions with pitting as they happened?
Well, at a track like this, Pocono, especially even though we got the repave, what's crucial about cautions at this track is that you can take 2 tires. And I was sure that if we got short enough runs, I could just keep taking 2 tires, 2 tires, 2 tires. And this entire race, I never took left side tires just because they weren't getting worn out. And it got to a point where the last like 20 laps of the race, I just didn't pit. And it was able to, you know, get us up to the front. And most people maybe not have realized that, but tires on a short run really didn't matter that much. It was more on the long run, which we didn't get, that they would have mattered more. But I was definitely sure of taking 2 tires and trying to get to the front, and that's exactly what we did. We put ourselves in a position to win, and you know, it just didn't work out for us. I mean, but the circumstances that we've had the last month ever since Gateway, I'm very proud of the way this went for us. Very, very, very proud. And I guarantee you this is going to go all the way to Homestead for us. This race was definitely a confidence booster. And I'd like to thank Ski-Doo, Super Sled Online, Baskins Knockback Motorsports, Cabela's, and all the other sponsors that help us out. A lot of guys were giving me support after this. Like, man, you had that. I know we had that. So we're going to keep going to this season. And we're going to show that we have speed, and we're going to go all the way.
Yeah, as you said, you had maybe 100 more feet. That would have been yours, not the call for tonight. But again, a second, we'll congratulate you on that, and you'll take that on to next week, and hopefully we'll be talking to you.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
Now Evan Black has caught up with third place, Brandon Stokes.
So, Brandon, you come with a third place finish here at the Pocono Raceway. What are your thoughts after tonight's race?
I think I had a decent overall night. Just couldn't get in a rhythm there. We didn't run a long enough run to actually get in a rhythm, but overall it was a pretty good night.
Do you feel like if it would have gone green for 10-15 laps, it would have either just stayed caution free, or what do you think about that?
I was hoping after that, I think it was the second pit stop, I was saving fuel there on those pace laps. I was looking forward to it to go green to the end, but it didn't work out that way. But overall, like I said, decent night. I think I had a little something there for it on that last restart. coming out of one, but yeah.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like it was hard to pass out there. It's kind of, is that what you felt too?
Yeah, everybody's close. You know, it's one of my first races in this league. But everybody seems to, you know, give you room, but race you hard and clean. And yeah, it was pretty hard to pass. But as long as you backed up your corner going into one, you kind of had a decent run coming out of one. Right. All that. So.
All right. Well, is anyone you would like to thank or shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my boys at Overtake Motorsports. I appreciate everything they do for me. My parents and my girlfriend for watching and all that, and all the sponsors on the truck.
All right, well, thanks for talking with us, and once again, congrats on your third place finish.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so that is the post-race show here tonight. So we will wrap up coverage here with a couple of quick sponsor shout-outs. Want to thank Air Movement and Fabrications for all they do for PTRTV, longtime supporter of the channel, helping us out over the years. So again, a shout out to them. Cruz Custom Graphics helping us out with the coding, well, with the graphics on the ticker and a lot of paint schemes. So check him out on social media, Cruz Graphics. And then of course, iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics helping us put together the ticker. Again, thanks to him for that. And thanks to LSRTV for giving us the opportunity to broadcast this race and show it on the big channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned to PTRTV on Friday night for the Hardline Racing League, and stay tuned again next Tuesday. You'll have more ASRS American Sim Racing Series action here in this very spot. So signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva and Evan Black with Joe Chris behind the scenes. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night, and we'll see you on Friday.